And I just wanted to let everyone know that. With that said, my name is Fraser Turner. I'm the Senior Director of Global Initiatives at Loyola University Chicago. I oversee the university's global initiative efforts, our international partnerships, help the university implement its academic global strategy. I also oversee our international programs, which includes the Office of International Student and Scholar Services. And so thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. We're really excited to introduce our new ISSS team. I know many of you might have already met them at the International Student Orientation at the start of the semester. I was able to meet some of you as well. And then I've obviously had some interactions with some of the other students and scholars in the past. So again, welcome, and I hope the start of the semester is off to a great start for everyone. We're so pleased to have our students back here on campus. As international students and scholars, you represent such an important piece of the university's internationalization efforts, bringing cultural perspectives into the classroom, into your student life with your friends at the university. And for that, we're obviously very grateful. You are part of what makes Loyola Loyola. As I mentioned, we have a new team joining us now. In a few moments, I'm going to allow our new Director of International Student and Scholar Services, Amy Sub, to introduce the team. I did just want to mention that obviously over the last year, this office has seen several changes. I know depending on when some of you have joined Loyola, you would have known some of the others that were in the ISSS team previously. As many of you may know, kind of the field of international education has been really disrupted by the COVID pandemic, and Loyola unfortunately wasn't able to avoid that disruption either. And so we did have some departures, professional departures from this office. Luckily, we were able to put together what was a very good solution in the interim period, and bringing in some seasoned professionals, ISSS professionals, to be able to offer immigration support services to you during that period. And we've been really grateful for the effort of that team. But with that said, we are thrilled to have our new permanent team in place, being able to offer those immigration support services to you, to be able to meet in person. As we move towards, let's just call it the post-COVID reality, if you will. So today's session, we're going to, we want you to be able to ask any questions you may have. We do ask that you put the questions in the chat function. That's going to be monitored throughout today's meeting. We'll either address those questions as they come, or if we feel that some of those questions might be answered through topics that are going to be covered in the agenda, we might table those questions, but we will make sure to get all of your questions answered. If for some reason we can't answer them during the allotted time today, we'll also be sure to follow up and make sure you get your questions answered. So today's presentation and meeting, we're going to cover kind of how to continue to contact the ISSS office, some exciting programming that's scheduled for the upcoming semester, and really just kind of what to expect from the world of ISSS and with your position here at Loyola. I think with that said, I'm going to hand this over to Amy Sub, the new Director of International Student and Scholar Services, to introduce herself and the new ISSS team. Again, welcome, and it's great to have you back.
Great, thank you so much, Fraser, for that welcome. So yes, I sincerely welcome all of you today. My name is Amy Sub, and I'm the new director of the Office of International Student and Scholar Services, also known as ISSS. I started here at the end of June, and I have a wealth of experience, over 10 years working within international higher education. And I will tell you a little bit more about my path shortly. As we get started here, if you ever come to our office, which is located in the second floor of the Sullivan Center on the Lakeshore campus, that is our main office. you will find the most friendly face. So I'd like to take a moment to welcome you, to introduce you to Alana Carroll, who is here to make an appearance. And we just wanted her to say hello and tell you a little bit about what you might expect if you were to visit our office in person.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Loyola, and for the new students, and welcome back to the returning students. My name's Alana Carroll, and I am the office coordinator for the Office of International Programs. I oversee the front desk. So many of you that will be walking into the office will see some of our student workers, but behind them will be me. So you will get familiar with me, perhaps. I am not an ISS advisor. I'd like to say that, but I can help you in many ways. So I can direct you to some forms and refer you to a couple things on the website. And then if appropriate, we can reach out to the advisors and such. So welcome again. And if you have any questions when you walk in, just kind of look for me. I'm there to help you.
Great, thank you so much, Alana.
Sure.
All right, so at this point, we'd like to each take a moment to tell you a little bit more about ourselves, our background, our international experience, working with students, and maybe a little bit of our interests. So I'll go ahead and get started. I am from the Chicago area, and I come from a big family. I ended up studying abroad overseas in Rome, Italy, for a semester, and that's kind of where my international education path started. Although my father did work traveling a lot overseas, so there was a little bit of inspiration there. Throughout my time in Italy, I decided to stay there to pursue a degree in Italian studies, and then continued my studies over there. And that's when I started working both with international students and study abroad students. And I really found my passion working with that population and working at a higher education institution. So when I decided to return home to the Chicago area, I knew that's where I wanted to be. And I worked for many years prior to Loyola at another institution in the Chicago area, and that's where I just gained a lot of experience working with international students, specifically also the study abroad side as well, and cultural programming. You know, I do have my master's degree in higher educational leadership, and I'm just really excited to put all of my experience and knowledge to use in this new role as director at Loyola University Chicago. Some of my interests include just spending time with family. I do have a 2.5-year-old son who keeps me very busy outside of work, and I love walking along the lake shore, and I have learned how to dance salsa. So that's just kind of a little fun fact. But thank you for listening to my story, and I'd like to pass it over to Abby Mensing, who is our new International Scholar Coordinator, to tell you a little bit about herself.
Thank you, Amy. So as Amy said, my name is Abby Mensing. I am the International Scholar Coordinator. I arrived last week, and I'm delighted to be here. My beginning in international education sort of began when I was teaching English at a university in southern Vietnam, and then came back and worked primarily on the S side of things with international students both in Houston and in Baton Rouge, so warmer climate. I'm looking forward to the fall. Coming up, I did sort of touch into working with international faculty as well, and I'm looking forward to exploring Chicago. Well, that is it for me. And if I may, I'll turn it over to Samantha. Oh, or do we?
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Samantha. So I am one of the new international student advisors here at Loyola. Like some of you are new to Chicago, perhaps. I'm also pretty new to Chicago. I've been here for about a month. I'm originally from Florida, where I mostly grew up. The University of Florida is where I went to school, and that was kind of the time when I started my experience in international education at home. I worked with students learning English as a second language, as that's one of my majors. And I was also an international student myself when I studied abroad in Japan. And my first job out of university was also in Japan. That's when I was working on the JET program, where I taught English and coordinated study abroad programs for Japanese high school students to the United States. And so now I am in Chicago. I'm doing international student advising, and I am really happy to work with international students. And I really believe in the invaluable experience of learning outside of one's comfort zone that comes with international education. So I'm very grateful to be supporting people in this field. And as for hobbies and interests, I'm a professionally certified tea brewer of over 200 to 300 different teas. And if you all would like to come out to our first Chai and Chat, which is October 4th, Lakeshore campus in the Ace Lounge, I will happily brew tea for all of you. So definitely check your ISSS newsletters and sign up for Chai and Chat, and we'll brew some tea. And when I'm not brewing tea, I'm usually outside swimming in Lake Michigan. So it's nice to meet everyone today.
Hi everyone, my name is Jen, and I'm the other international student advisor with ISSS. So I originally from mainland China, and I firstly come to the United States, like many of you, as an international student. I got 2 master's degrees in education, and I started my career with like language teaching. But in the recent years, I find myself just grew more passion like in student affairs, so I gradually moved to international education. I really enjoy working with international students, not only because they always bring like different cultures and diversities to the campus, but more importantly, it feels really good to come back and support like the community where I come from. So outside of work, I really enjoy snorkeling, traveling, reading, and spending time with my cat. I'm very glad to like meet all of you here today, and I really look forward to seeing you more later in the semester.
Great, thank you so much. So hopefully it gives you a nice idea of who we are. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the services we offer. So, one of our main goals is to help you, assist you with maintaining your status. Of course, it is your responsibility to maintain your status, but we're here to kind of help you through that process and make you aware of your responsibilities, for example, at the orientation, and then we do provide a variety of workshops throughout the semesters. We also do a lot of cultural programming to help you get engaged on campus, sometimes off campus, among the other Loyola students, and get you engaged also with some faculty and staff here as well. So I'll start by talking a little bit about how to interact with our office. So in the past few months, really the way to contact our office, the ideal way, is to email isss@luc.edu. We want you to continue doing that. That way, one of us will be able to respond to your inquiry. We do have Jen and Samantha who will be responding generally to those whose last names fall under a certain letter of the alphabet. So, for example, Jen will respond to those whose last name starts with an A, anywhere from A through L, and Samantha from M through Z. The emails will be answered in according to the order that they are received. So we ask that you just, send one email, and we will do our best to respond to you as soon as we can. If you try or have tried to email Samantha or Jen directly, we ask that you continue to go through ISSS, and they can certainly respond to your inquiry. As far as advising, at the moment, advising is by appointment only. These appointments can be in person, by phone, or via Zoom. So it really depends on your preference and availability. In October, we will have a system that's set up that will allow you to see what advising hours there are, and will be able to sign up directly with your advisor. There may be the chance to do some other appointments outside of the advising hours that are established. But what we will do is in the October newsletter, we'll let you know that option is available, and you'll be able to access it accordingly. Later in the semester, we'll also announce walk-in advising hours so that you can have the opportunity to walk in during that time. As far as student requests, you'll see on our website there are many different forms which you will need to fill out in order to make requests. So they are PDF forms that are fillable, and a lot of them provide the instructions you need in order to fill out the form. And oftentimes you do need to get your academic advisor to sign off, or you need to provide additional documentation. So make sure you read through the instructions carefully so that you submit a complete request and that we can process it on time, because if anything is missing, we will have to ask you for that additional documentation or signature. We are, before the end of the semester, we expect to launch the use of the LUC portal for international students to use to make requests, but we will let you know once that is live and available, and when we plan to transition exactly and how you will be using that. So in the meantime, continue to use the forms that are on the website and send them to isss@luc.edu. Okay, so we're going to transition right now to talk a little bit about our programming that we have planned for the semester. And, we're really excited to be able to offer in-person programming again. And we are reviving some of the programming that has been done in the past that students have really enjoyed. And we're also looking to do some new programming as well. We did send out a survey for students to take to let us know what they're interested in and what days and times are best. So we will be doing our best to take that into consideration when we do our planning. So at this point, I'm going to pass it to Abby Mensing to talk a little bit about the upcoming International Student Meet and Greet.
Thank you again, Amy. I am always happy to talk about food. So I am delighted to remind you all of our new students are invited to our lovely International Student Meet and Greet lunch that is going to be hosted by the College of Arts and Sciences and our office. So special thanks to Dean Schrader and ISSS Provost Father Hendrickson for their support of this event. So this is going to be next Tuesday coming up. So next Tuesday, September 20th at noon on the 4th floor of the Information Commons building. And that is the big glass building right on the edge of Michigan, just before. You will need to reserve your spot. So you should have received an email with a link to click and make a reservation. But if you have not, please email ISSS@luc.edu so that we can send you the registration link and make sure that you are able to attend if you would like to. If I may, I'm going to just hand it over to Jen to talk about some additional upcoming.
All right, thank you, Abby. So yeah, as the fall semester starts, we're very excited to have a lot of fun activities and events down the road. First, we are bringing back the chat. I'm not sure how many of you here today are returning students, and some of you might have attended before. But for our new ramblers, chat is a global conversation hour for Loyola's international community to connect with their domestic peers. It will have 4 sessions for this semester, as on October 4th and November 29th at the ACE Lounge in the Lakeshore campus. October 26th, that one will be online, and November 18th at the Water Tower campus. All Loyola students, scholars, and staff are welcome, so please feel free to invite your friends to join us. We will have discussions over some tea, as Samantha mentioned, and with focusing on like different casual topics for each session, and it will be super fun. And we are also continue to do the tours to explore the Chicago neighborhoods. It offers opportunity for international students to get to know different parts of the city of Chicago. And for this semester, we're going to Lincoln Square on Saturday, October 1st, which is very soon, for their Apple Fest. It is a long-standing tradition for the locals to celebrate the beginning of the autumn, and it will be like a great place to experience American culture. Also, we're going to downtown Chicago for the Chris Candle Market on Saturday, December 3rd. So Chris Candle Market is a German Christmas outdoor market, which provides seasonal foods, drinks, festival music, and holiday vibes. We're very excited for both of the trips and would like to see you join us. And from November 14th to 18th, which is the 3rd week of November, is our International Education Week. It is a nationwide initiative of the U.S. Department of State and U.S. Department of Education to promote culture exchange and also celebrate the benefits of international education. There are going to be a range of activities and events sponsored by different groups and departments across the campus, and we're going to share more details on our upcoming newsletter. As I just mentioned, all the events will be found on our ISSS newsletter with dates, time, and registration link. So if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, please do so today, so we won't miss you for any fun events. And for the next part, I'll hand it over to Samantha.
All right, thank you, Jen. So I'll continue the programming conversation with a new initiative that ISSS is planning with the Honors College. So this is going to be an opportunity for international students to connect with and network with local domestic honor students. So this is going to be called the International Honors Ambassadors Program. And so if you sign up for this program, if you receive the ISSS newsletter, there is a link to sign up. You'll be matched with small groups of a mixture of international students and domestic honor students. And this is so you all can feel more connected to the Loyola campus and the student population, and just hopefully build your social network and make new friends. And in these small groups, we hope that you all can take part in ISSS events. Like, for example, like Jen mentioned, our first Exploring Chicago Neighborhoods is happening Saturday, October 1st, and that will be the Ravenswood Apple Fest. Ravenswood is not too far from Loyola's campus. It's a little bit south and west of the Lakeshore campus anyway. So it'll be a great way to take part in a classic American fall celebration. And if you choose to join the International Ambassadors Program, perhaps that's something you can do with your small group members. Enjoy the start of fall together. And also throughout the semester, there will be more opportunities to do things in your small group, like perhaps go to Chai and Chat together, do more local and seasonal events like the Christmas market, perhaps do a Friendsgiving around the time of Thanksgiving, a classic American holiday. And also, it's also just great to have a group of classmates, friends to connect with and get together, study over coffee or a meal. So we hope that this program will help you all build connections with your peers around Loyola and feel more integrated and during your life here in Chicago. So definitely check our newsletter for that sign up information. And we will have some honors receptions coming up soon for that program as well. So We would like for you all to RSVP by September 20th. And then we'll have an orientation that will list our expectations for the program, which will be next week, September 22nd. And then shortly after that, around the end of the month, September 28th, there will be a reception for all program participants that will be sponsored by the honors program. So I know this is a lot of information and a lot of dates, but definitely keep your eye on the ISSS newsletters for RSVP information and how to participate in this program, as well as our other programs that we have going on throughout the fall semester. And that's it from me.
Great, thank you so much, Samantha. So yes, along with that, we will send out some other communications regarding the individual events that might be upcoming. And we do have an Instagram page called LUC Global Engagement. And we do plan to make some postings there as well as events are approaching. I also wanted to mention that in October, as we kind of create that schedule of advising, we will also have in-person advising available on the Water Tower campus twice a week. So our advisors will, although our main office is located at the Sullivan Center, we do also have an office in the Corboy building at the Water Tower campus. So if you would like to have an in-person advising session and it's easier for you to get to the Water Tower campus, you can certainly coordinate that as well starting in October. A few other things I wanted to mention is that some new students were unable to make our original new student orientation. So we will be hosting a makeup orientation, which will be virtual on Friday, September 30th at 1 p.m. We're going to plan about an hour and a half for this session and really just focus on your requirements as an F1 student and some of your benefits related to being in that status. We'll be sending out an email to all of the new international students so that if you missed the first session, you can get all of the information. And really, this is a requirement for you to be there. If you have class during that time, that's really the only excused absence we would accept, and we can talk with you about that separately. If you are a new student and you came to orientation, but you would like to get the information again, it will be the same information, but we're happy to have you join us. Some other reminders that are important. You should already be enrolled in a full course load with only one online course. Of that course load, if you're taking more than the required course load, then any additional courses can be online. We've been reaching out to students who may be under-enrolled or have too many online classes. They need to make an adjustment to their schedule. So make sure you check your schedule right now. If you haven't, hopefully you're fine, but just make sure that you are enrolled full-time and that only one of that full-time course load is online. With that said, if you are in your final semester or have reasons to get a reduced course load approval, we do have the reduced course load approval form. We also want to just remind you about your program end date. Make sure you always keep an eye on your program end date. Don't let it expire before taking some sort of action, whether you need to do a program extension or apply for OPT, or if you're applying to another degree level, we need to do a change of level within 60 days of your program end date. So you do have that 60-day grace period once your program end date approaches, but you need to take action during that time. Otherwise, you are expected to leave the US within those 60 days. We are doing OPT workshops. So if you are in your final semester or you want to start getting some information about OPT, these workshops will take place on October 7th at 10 a.m. or November 10th at 4 p.m. They're both virtual, and we do have the sign up also available in our newsletter. So we will continue to share that information with you, but it's definitely important for you to attend if OPT is coming soon for you. All right. Some other just reminders, make sure your address is always up to date with us and that you let us know within 10 business days. You will need to update that through Locus, and you can let our office know as well by filling out the update form. Make sure your passport does not expire while you are in the US. Your visa can expire, but if you leave and return, you need to renew your visa. So those are just a few reminders. This concludes our official part of the Meet the ISSS staff session, but we do want to see if there are any questions in the chat. Feel free to write a question now if you like. I'm going to put the whole team on the board so that you can see us here.
If you all want to raise your virtual Zoom hands to ask a question, that's okay too. I'm currently not seeing any questions typed in the chat, so if you feel more comfortable just asking us directly, that's all right.
Maybe there's no questions today. Okay, well, listen, I just want to thank you all again for coming to this, and please do email ISSS@luc.edu if you do have any questions. And once again, all of the requests will be going through there. Stay tuned for the next newsletter. And okay, there's a question. May I have the link for the meet and greet? Yes, if you're a new student, we'll be happy to send that to you. If you can actually maybe send an email to ISSS, we can respond to that email and get that to you right away. So, all right, well, let's see. I think that may be all the questions, unless any others come in right now. Oh, okay. All right, so questions are starting to come in. Can I waive my insurance? So that's a great question. We do have, there's an insurance through Loyola that gets automatically applied to all students. However, if you go to the page of the Bursar and go to the insurance area, it gives you instructions on how you can waive the Loyola insurance. What you need to do is have insurance of your own that is acceptable. And what you can do is you'll upload that and waive out of the Loyola insurance, but you do need to show your own proof of insurance. That needs to be done by October 1st. So make sure that if you are interested in doing that, that you get that done by October 1st. Tuition fee due date. You know, I don't know off the top of my head what a tuition fee due date is, but I would suggest going into your Locus profile, and it should be listed there, whatever the due date is. If you're still not sure, I would contact the Bursar's office. If you plan to travel abroad, how early should you get a new I-20? Great question. So, if you're traveling abroad, you need to make sure that you have a travel signature on the back of your I-20. So it would be on the second page. Each travel signature is valid for 1 year. So first, see if you don't already have a travel signature. And nowadays, since electronic signatures are acceptable, what you can do is email ISSS@luc.edu, attach the travel signature request form, and your I-20 so that we can sign on the back and send it back to you. I would try to get that to us about 1 week before departing. That way you have it all sorted out. So yeah, 1 week would be ideal. Now, if you end up leaving the country and you forget to do this, just make sure you do it and that you get the I-20 with the travel signature before re-entering the US, because that's when you need it most. I see Samantha is able to put a lot of links in the chat pertaining to the questions that we have, so that's great. Are there other questions? Since I know some of them are coming in now, we're happy to answer them. All right, well, maybe that's all for today. Oh, it's not. Oh, can I drive in Chicago with country license? Let's see. I believe Samantha or Jen, you might have. I believe they mean their license from their country. I believe Jen or Samantha, have you answered one of those recently that you feel? Samantha, maybe.
So I know from the research Jen and I did, I heard that the international license is not acceptable. I'm not sure if it's different if it's your home country license. Do you know, Jen, if it's like a license that's not international, but just from the student's home country? Can they drive with that in this state?
Yeah, it is a tricky question, but yes, you can drive with like a valid like foreign driver's license, but it didn't say like on the website, but I would just double check and make sure it has like your, have like English translation over there, because like I know some like foreign like driver's license only have like in their like native language. So yeah.
Yeah, there are some additional steps that need to be taken regarding the translation of your license. So there is a link in the chat that you can take a look to get more information. But if you still have questions regarding that, feel free to email ISSS. Okay, well, I think that may be all the questions. So thank you all again for being here, and we hope to see you in person real soon at one of our events or during an advising session if you have any questions. So take care. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Enjoy your semester.